Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root for Personal Liberty. And do I have a plan for the Republican Party and the country? If the GOP wants to win elections by a landslide, if they want to save the economy, and if they want to create 20 million middle-class jobs almost overnight, this is the plan. Back in 1994, a contract with America won Republicans landslide control of Congress. In my latest book, The Murder of the Middle Class, I lay out the middle-class contract with America that will help do it again in 2014 and 2016. If only the GOP would listen, we could turn around this terrible economy, save the middle class, and return America to greatness. Republicans need to do more than be against Obama. They need to present their vision and a detailed plan for how to reinvigorate the economy and create millions of high-paying middle-class jobs. Here is the 10-point plan that could stop this long-term decline and dysfunction and once again make America's middle class the greatest in the world. A middle-class contract with America created by a small business owner, that's me, can do it again. This is a common-sense contract to protect, save, and serve America's middle class. This contract has only 3 goals. It's simple: support, stimulate, and reward middle-class job creation. I start with a national income tax vacation. I call it my NITV, National Income Tax Vacation. Ronald Reagan already proved a radical plan that gives power and money back to the people will turn around even the worst recession since the Great Depression and turn it into the biggest economic expansion in the history of the world. Reagan saved America from economic ruin by cutting taxes from 70% to 28%. This idea is Reagan on steroids. Obama wasted over $2 trillion on a stimulus to nowhere. That's the updated cost. He gambled on big government and lost. And 6 years later, there's still no middle-class jobs. Like Reagan, I'm betting on the private sector. Government can't save us from this Obama Great Depression. Government isn't the solution, it's the problem. Only the taxpayers, investors, and small business owners can save us. My version of stimulus goes to the group of citizens that actually pay the taxes. Imagine that. I want to let the taxpayers keep 100% of their income for 1 year and watch the greatest economic explosion in world history begin. Watch them start and build and expand businesses, buy stocks, homes, automobiles, go on a consumer spending binge. This plan puts money in the hands of the financial first responders, not government. The people who pay the taxes and create the jobs by starting businesses will save America. Millions of jobs will be created, and they won't be flipping burgers. Obama's belief in government has failed the middle class. Now, critics ask, how do we pay for it? The total cost of my income tax vacation is $1.2 trillion. That's all the personal income tax in America for 1 year. That's less than Obama's stimulus. Did you ever ask him how he'd pay for his stimulus? This economy is even worse than Jimmy Carter's, so we need a radical game changer even bigger than Reagan's. This is how you inspire America, by rewarding all the people who actually pay taxes instead of punishing them and stealing their money to reward the freeloaders with their hands out. Obama proved that idea is a disaster for America. Next step, we return from the 1-year national income tax vacation to a 0-15-0 tax plan. This country needs a game changer. This plan's modeled after Hong Kong, the greatest booming economy in the world with 3.5% unemployment. So we come back from the 1-year personal income tax vacation, that's the 0, to a 15% flat tax. And it's important to note that Hong Kong allows deductions for mortgage and charitable. It works. Copy it. You hear me, GOP? Stop trying to eliminate mortgage and charitable deductions along with a flat tax. That's stupid. The economy depends on real estate and home ownership. Churches and charities depend on deductibility of donations. Hong Kong's booming economy proves a flat tax works with both of those deductions included. Second, Hong Kong also has a 0 capital gains tax. 0. So does our #1 competitor in the world, China. We got to match China or we're done. A 0 capital gains tax will motivate an explosion in investments and startups. That's how you jumpstart a middle-class jobs explosion. The third plank of my plan is to jumpstart job creation. 2 out of every 3 new jobs are created by small business. A majority of those new jobs are created during the first 3 years of any new startup. We need to encourage more startups. I propose offering an angel investors tax deduction. Under my plan, investors receive a dollar-for-dollar tax credit for up to 50% of their income tax bill, up to $50,000, for investments in new business startups. This isn't for millionaires, it's tailor-made for the middle class. Over a decade, any middle-class American can invest $25,000 per year, and after 10 years, they save $250,000 from the clutches of the IRS. And if any of those businesses they invest in succeed, middle-class taxpayers can build $1 million nest egg for retirement. More importantly, millions of jobs will be created with all this money flowing into business startups. What do all new businesses need? Employees. Plank number 4, create a reverse inversion. Inversion is when U.S. companies run away from America because we have the highest corporate income taxes in the industrialized world. I want to cut the corporate income tax rate to a flat 15%. So companies across the globe want to practice reverse inversion by coming to America, not running away. Secondly, encourage U.S. companies to bring all their offshore money back into our country. Financial experts estimate American companies have over $2 trillion parked offshore because of high corporate tax rates. My plan allows companies to bring their foreign earnings back to America with only a small 10% penalty. Companies will rush to take advantage, thereby instantly producing 10% of $2.2 trillion in new tax revenues. Better yet, the remaining $1.8 trillion will be pumped into the U.S. economy. And third, model the great and booming state of Texas and pass a national loser pays law. You want corporations to bring back jobs from overseas? Reduce frivolous lawsuits and watch what happens. Anyone want to bet? I'll take all your bets. Do these 3 things and every company in the world will want to move to the entrepreneurial capital of the world, America. Watch millions of jobs be onshored instead of offshored. Plank number 5, we need an EHPA, an Endangered Humans Protection Act. The average energy job in Texas pays $150,000 a year. These are the kinds of jobs that could save the middle class. They save Texas. Their economy's booming. Because of technological advances, America's in the middle of an energy revolution. If only the Obama administration would take the shackles off, America could become the energy capital of the world. How do we create millions of great jobs? Approve Keystone. Increase energy production, encourage more fracking and clean coal, and ease regulations so we can export more of America's #1 product, energy, to our allies in Europe. That's how we defeat Russia, too. We become the energy supplier to the world. Oh, and kill the EPA. Today, not tomorrow, this minute. The energy industry has more of a direct impact on middle-class Americans than any other issue. Creating high-paying energy jobs would lower unemployment, boost the tax base, lower the debt, and dramatically lower everyone's energy bills, leading to increased consumer spending. The middle class is saved by $150,000 a year energy jobs. It's destroyed by job-killing green energy. The party that offers that vision sweeps to a landslide victory. Plank number 6, legalize, regulate, and tax sin like marijuana and online gambling. This is what we do in my home state of Nevada, and the result is we're able to afford 0 state income tax and 0 business income tax. We should be replicating this model across the country because it works. Are you listening, GOP? Get out of our bedrooms as well as the boardrooms. Let people do what they want. Stop sticking your head in the sand. Tax it and reap the benefits. By the way, this is how you create even more jobs. Plank number 7, America desperately needs a gold standard. Get rid of the Fed. The dollar has lost in the neighborhood of 98% of its buying power since 1913, the year the Fed was founded. We need a gold standard to back the dollar with something real and tangible. This prevents politicians from spending us into bankruptcy by making promises with money we don't have. It also reduces the likelihood of a debt crisis, a dollar collapse, or the loss of our world reserve currency status for the dollar. Gold standard. Plank number 8, repeal and replace Obamacare with a health freedom plan. The economy can't improve without the repeal of Obamacare. Health insurance premiums are up more since Obamacare started than in the 8 previous years combined. Heck, they're up 88% in liberal Obama-loving California alone. This is bankrupting middle-class consumers and destroying our economy. Obamacare is a middle-class, high-wage job killer. There could be no good-paying middle-class jobs until the regulations and taxes of Obamacare are repealed. Period. Obamacare has got to go, or nothing else will work. Plank number 9, seal the border and reform immigration policy. After the border is sealed with a virtual wall protected by thousands of drones, allow a path to permanent residency with work permits, but never citizenship for illegal immigrants. Our wide-open border is leading to disaster for the economy. Millions of poor, desperate immigrants are arriving here to demand welfare, and food stamps will bankrupt our economy and force massive tax increases. But a terrorist attack or an Ebola pandemic on U.S. soil is even worse, and both could happen tomorrow because the border is wide open. One terrorist attack and this already vulnerable, lousy economy will drop off a cliff. One Ebola pandemic and the commerce of America will ground to a halt. The border is the key to all of this. Seal the border to save America's economy from destruction. And finally, plank number 10, follow the U.S. Constitution to limit the power of Congress and all the branches of the federal government. This starts with term limits. I believe all politicians should be limited to 2 terms, 1 term in office and 1 term in prison. That's a brief summary of my plan to save this economy and this country, direct from the pages of my book, The Murder of the Middle Class. We need hope, not just criticism. This plan is all about hope. America's in decline, but it's still savable. I know it is. We can turn it around. There's still time, but the window is small. This plan will create 20 million new jobs quickly, just as Reagan's tax cut did in the 1980s. It restores economic freedom, entrepreneurship. It stimulates small business job creation. It limits the power of government, just as the founding fathers intended. It puts the power back in the hands of the people. Most importantly, it will restore the American dream for middle-class Americans. This answers all the liberal critics who claim all conservatives or libertarians do is complain and criticize Obama. They ask, where's your plan? Well, here it is, detailed. Now shut up and get out of the way. You've done enough damage. You've caused enough chaos, crisis, and pain. It's time to let responsible adults take over this country again. I'm Wayne Allyn Root for Personal Liberty. See you next week. God bless America and this plan.